What's going on, A to Z Sports? We are live for Titans pregame live. Sam Phelan here with Jack Gentry. It is Titans and Texans in a Week 17 matchup out there in Houston. And, on paper, an insignificant game for your Tennessee Titans sitting at 5-10. I know a lot of you are watching the draft position throughout the final 2 weeks of the season here saying, hey, how can we get that top 5 pick? But a couple storylines that are going to be fun to watch that we will preview here this morning. One of them being Will Levis, CJ Stroud, a marquee quarterback matchup for the first time in both of these two rookies' careers going head to head. And then DeAndre Hopkins is returning home to the city of Houston and looking maybe a revenge game for D-Hop. So a lot of interesting stuff to break down. Jack and I have it for you here on the pregame. And Jack, before we get into all of it, tell everybody what to do.
Yeah, happy New Year's. Hope everyone had happy holidays. Before we move into 2024, we want to make sure we're closing out 2023 strong. So make sure you like the show as you join. We want to like the show. It helps the show. It helps grow the show. It helps build the audience. It helps everything. So go ahead and drop a like on the show for good luck heading into 2024. If you're watching the show on Facebook, make sure you share it to your Facebook groups. Share it to your Titans Facebook groups. I know all of y'all have opinions about Stroud versus Levis today. It'll be the first chapter in what could be a very, very long novel between those two quarterbacks in this rivalry between the Texans and Titans. So we want to share the show on Facebook. If you're watching the show on YouTube, tap the bell icon at the top of your screen, turn your notifications on so you do not miss anything. You will not miss a single update from A to Z Sports as long as you turn those notifications on. Finally, if you're watching on Twitch, text that Twitch link to your Titans text groups, text to your family members, text to your relatives, text to your loved ones. Everyone who's interested in this Titans game, we want them in here today, commenting in the chat. We want to hear what your expectations are for today, what your expectations are for 2024, whatever it may be. We want to take the temperature of the Titans fan base. So share the show and let's see you guys active in the comments throughout the show. Sam, finally, let's get the show on the road.
Yeah, let's do it. Before we jump into today's topics, I want to give some love to our partners for Titans Game Day Morning. That is X Golf Nashville, the home of indoor golf in Middle Tennessee. X Golf, play, train, entertain. XGolfNashville.com. The Mint Gaming Hall, home of big jackpots and big fun, just 35 minutes north of Nashville at themintgaming.com. BetMGM, an official partner of the Tennessee Titans. You can use the code ATOZ200 and turn a $10 money line wager into $200 in bonus bets instantly. The law offices of Amanda J. Gentry, wherever justice demands. Amanda J is in Tennessee and family criminal courts in 35 counties in Middle Tennessee at AmandaJGentry.com. Chim Chimney for all your chimney needs, chim-chimneyinc.com. Adventure Science Center. Explore and discover your full family adventure awaits at adventurecsi.org. And Jarrett Fire, HVAC, and Plumbing. Keep your facility comfortable and secure, one inspection at a time at jarrettcompanies.com. Jack, two big storylines here. Number one, how excited are you for Will Levis versus CJ Stroud, Volume 1, in what I think is going to be a very interesting rivalry for years to come?
Yeah, it's absolutely intriguing. And I think a lot of people around the league, even though this game doesn't have a ton of playoff implications for the Titans, actually it has none. And the Texans are still kind of fighting for that wild card spot or division title. We'll see how things play out in the AFC South today. But I think a lot of people will be interested around the league because these are two quarterbacks that could be featured in the playoffs for years to come on the AFC side of the bracket. And, Stroud's got a core that's ready to win now. Will Levis behind a banged-up offensive line, a bad offensive line, and, a mediocre group of receivers outside of DeAndre Hopkins. He doesn't have as much to work with, but can he overcome that like he came so close to doing just 2 weeks ago and getting a win against the Texans? Because, the Titans are going to have some motivation today. And I understand there's nothing to play for when it comes to the postseason. And a lot of Titans fans, some Titans fans at least, are going to be pulling for a draft pick. So a loss would help in that category, but the Titans don't want to get swept in the division. They have yet to win a divisional game. They absolutely want to win one of those before the season's over, and this is one of their last chances. They got the Jaguars next week. Who knows who's going to be starting for the Jags? But getting one today in Houston, avenging that halftime loss or that blown halftime lead 2 weeks ago, which was actually their fifth halftime lead that they blew this season, is going to be important. And I know this offense is going to want to come out firing. The defense have a couple new faces working in. So that'll be fun to watch. But Stroud versus Levis, just a couple. Stroud versus Levis is going to be box office today, like you said in your tweet earlier this week. And I can't wait to see it get going.
Yeah, like you mentioned, losing division games Very hard to do, losing all of the division games. The Titans have not lost, the Titans have not gone winless in divisional games ever as the Tennessee Titans. And in fact, the franchise hasn't done it since 1982. The 1982 Houston Oilers were the last team to go winless in the division. At the time, it was the AFC Central Division, and it was a 9-game regular season that year. They went 1-8 because of the 1982 player strike. That's the last time. Ken Wisenhunt era, the Titans still won a divisional game every single year of that era. So they are about to go on uncharted territory for the Tennessee Titans. If they go 0-6 in the AFC South, like you said, you have to think they want to get a win here just for morale, to not be the absolute basement laughing stock of the division here. And then just what I think is going to be a really fascinating quarterback battle, because Jack, before the Miami game, when you and I sat here on Titan Pregame Live, we talked about what Will Levis could prove in primetime against the Miami Dolphins. And one of the things that I was really looking for was Will Levis to make a national announcement that, hey, I'm more than just like playing pretty good football right now for the Titans or looking promising for the Titans. I'm a young quarterback that needs to be nationally talked about as a future star of this league. And I think he did that. I think everybody would say he did that with his performance in Miami. He has another opportunity to do that today, because CJ Stroud has obviously dominated every headline when it comes to rookie quarterbacks, every headline when it comes to young quarterbacks and offensive rookie of the years and the future of the AFC and the future of the quarterback position. If Will Levis can come out today and outperform CJ Stroud and wins the game over the Texans and spoils their playoff odds, and now the Titans are looking at a team that has this young quarterback with all this cap space building into the offseason, I think the national narrative about where the Titans are and who Will Levis can be in the scope of the National Football League is going to change pretty significantly. These head-to-head matchups, I mean, think about how often NFL lore talks about the head-to-head between Brady and Manning, the head-to-head between some of these top-tier quarterbacks, right? Allen versus Mahomes, Mahomes and Burrow, and what they do facing each other. This could be the very first matchup of a long, storied rivalry in the AFC South, and it's time for Will Levis to let the rest of the NFL know, I need to be talked about in the same breath as CJ Stroud.
And you know what makes me feel good about that is it feels like Will Levis flips it into second gear when the lights are on. When there's a little bit more pressure in big game situations. We saw it first in Pittsburgh. Titans didn't get it done, but Levis led a hell of a drive that resulted in an interception because he had to force the ball in the end zone late. But that was kind of the first glimpse of Will Levis stepping up in prime time. Then we get the Dolphins win, and that was his coming out party, right? Today's another big game for Levis. He's going to be extra hungry having missed last week, watching Tannehill go out there and the Titans not be able to get it done. So Levis is going to have some motivation. He knows that he was picked behind Stroud. He wants to prove to everybody, including the Texans, that he should have been, a top 5 pick, like some people thought he might have been last year around draft time. So Levis has a lot to prove. He's going to be hungry. This Titans team, very hungry. There's a stench that comes with losing, Sam. And you said this, they haven't gotten swept in the division since 1982, over 40 years ago. I bet that they know that. I bet that Mike Vrabel knows that. He'll never let you know that he knows it, but there's a stench that comes with losing, and it's not just going to come off in the offseason, right? It's not going to come off because you spent this money or you drafted well in the offseason. You've got to find a way to win against your rivals now, and getting swept against the Texans and the Colts and the Jags possibly in Week 18 is a bad look, and it's frankly embarrassing for a Titans team that is, more than anything, has been competitive for the last 5 years, and been more than that. They've been contenders. So to fall off like this, I think the Titans are going to come out with an extra edge. And you mentioned it, Brady and Manning, some of the greats, they always chalk up, who's got the better head-to-head. I think this is going to be a big step for Levis in confidence. DeAndre Hopkins got a lot to prove. He's 61 yards away from 1,000 yards on the season. So I think that those two are going to establish a connection early. And look, they both want to win this game. There's no hiding it. The Titans need this one for morale. I know Titans fans don't want to hear about it, but I do expect a hungry Titans team to show up, and that's led by Will Levis, the ultimate competitor.
Yeah, let's talk about DeAndre Hopkins real quick, because you talk about motivation for a guy like Levis, who was out last week, had watched Ryan Tannehill play, clearly had a desire to be out there, and just like was the ultimate competitor and talking about his mentality and approach to try and get ready for the week. DeAndre Hopkins is somebody who I think is extra motivated this week, as much as he won't and has not admitted it. D-Hop has sat there and said all the right things, said, just another game for me. Going back to Houston doesn't mean anything. It's just another game. I'm trying to do my job. But what we know about DeAndre Hopkins is that this guy takes things very personally. He takes doubters and haters personally, and it is a personal challenge to prove them wrong and prove that he's still elite in the National Football League. Well, he has an opportunity in his first time back in Houston in a jersey that is not a Houston Texans uniform to play a football game and show Houston, show the organization, show Bill O'Brien, even though he's not anywhere close to the Texans organization anymore. Hey, remember me? Remember when you guys traded me? And so this is going to be a big day for D-Hop. And so I want to ask this question to you and the chat here. How many yards will DeAndre Hopkins have against the Texans today? You can say it's a revenge game. How many yards will DeAndre Hopkins have against the Texans today? Jack, go ahead and fire off your take. What is the number for you?
Well, it's interesting because D-Hop's had a quiet couple of weeks lately, and it started really against the Texans in that first matchup. He had just 2 catches for 21 yards, followed it up with 2 catches for 20 yards against Seattle. So he wants to break free. He wants to break loose. He wants to get going downfield today, and Will Levis is just the guy to help him do that if he's got time in the pocket, which is no given. I expect a big game from D-Hop. On BetMGM, we put out his play today. Over 60.5 receiving yards is the number on BetMGM. So if you believe that D-Hop has a big day, go ahead and get some action in on BetMGM over there. But, Sam, I think it's going to be a big one. The Titans offense is going to have to keep up with C.J. Stroud. And C.J. Stroud's got a pretty easy path in front of him with Eric Garror making a start at cornerback in the absence of Trey Avery and Christian Fulton. With the tight end, Dalton Schultz, he could get loose today as well. Having the new linebacker, Wallow, just 5 career starts, probably matched up against him. So I expect Stroud to throw for a lot of yards, but that makes me think that Levis is going to turn it up a little bit himself. And if Levis is able to turn it up like I think he will be, D-Hop's going to have to be heavily involved. The Titans offense has sputtered in the second half each of the last 2 weeks because D-Hop has not been activated. The Titans know, and Tim Kelly, we've seen him make adjustments. We've seen him go from that Texans game where Derrick Henry ran for 9 yards on 16 carries to make adjustments against the Seahawks where they threw it more on first down. Well, I expect Tim Kelly to make another adjustment and getting D-Hop going early and often. I think D-Hop catches 7 footballs today, Sam, and he goes for 85 yards. That's my expectation today. But more importantly, I think he finds the end zone once as well. So give me D-Hop 7 for 85 and a touchdown.
7 for 85. Chat usually with you taking the over here. We've got a lot. 70, 100, 70 plus, 125, 140, 94, 60 right at the over-under for Luman. 50 yards is where Brandon's at. But all these comments coming in. Eric, Ruben, Linwood, Guy, Top Tier, Billy Jones. Everybody's coming in with the over. I'm in on the over as well. I'm taking 91 yards for DeAndre Hopkins is the number that's coming to my mind. I think it's going to be a big day for him. I think Will Levis and him are going to get back on the same page. But let's talk about some of the other X factors, you could say, some of the other ways the Titans can go ahead and find a way to win this game. And so we'll ask you guys as well, who or what is going to be the X-Golf X factor for a Titans win today over the Texans? Who or what is going to be the X-Golf X factor for a Titans win today over the Texans? And of course, the X-Golf X Factor is brought to you by X Golf Nashville, the home of indoor golf. Listen, I went over to X Golf with Austin Stanley to, do a little promo over there, check out the facility. I was blown away. It's this bar scene that also has like state-of-the-art golf simulators that give you all of your stats, help you improve your swing, tracks your performance. Easy as can be, Jack. They literally have a machine that will tee the ball up for you. You just press a button, it takes out a ball and puts it on a tee. So you can just stand there, take a sip of your drink, take a bite of your food, and swing away at X Golf, improving your swing. They offer lessons. They have leagues. Doesn't matter what your skill level is, whether it's watching like a primetime football game, watching a Titans game, or maybe it's a college basketball game on. Go check out X Golf. That's the best way to do like a sports bar, is just swinging a golf club, hitting golf balls, drinking a beer, having some good food, whatever it is that you want to do. Go check them out at X Golf. Cannot recommend it enough. It blew my mind how high quality the facility was there. So xgolfnashville.com is where you can go to book your reservation today. So, Jack, we asked the question, who or what is the X Golf X factor for a Titans win today? Luman says Wesco, who is inactive. Luman, unfortunately. Trayvon Wesco is not playing today.
It's the most random Titan X factor of the day.
Yeah. Eric Gordon says, can we stop the run? Guy says King Henry. Linwood says Derrick Henry, big run. Orlando says Andre Dillard, who should be playing significant snaps at left tackle again this week. Tajay Spears, the offensive line. The secondary, says Jags got juice. Mike Vrabel, the turnovers. Chigakonkwo. I see a Peter Skoronsky comment in the chat as well. Got to be Derrick Henry. So a lot of different answers. Jack, what's your X factor?
You know, when you talk about the Titans' big three, a lot of people are going to point to Will Levis, Derrick Henry, and DeAndre Hopkins. Not today, Sam. C.J. Stroud has not been in rhythm because he hadn't been on the field lately. He's missed 2 games due to that concussion. But when he's been in there this season, we've seen him throw the football all over the yard. When he gets in a rhythm, he's really hard to stop. He's capable of going for 400 yards against this Titans defense today. How is that going to get stopped? How are the Titans going to make sure that doesn't happen? The big three, Danico Autry, Harold Landry, and Azeez Al-Shire. Those 3 players have to make plays early in this football game to disrupt his rhythm, to make him think twice about his reads, to make him skittish in the pocket, to speed him up mentally. I expect Autry and Landry to keep the pressure on this Texans offensive line, which has been bad lately. Sam, the Texans have allowed 17 sacks since week 13. On the flip side of that, the Titans tied for first in the NFL with 15 sacks of their own since week 13. So the Titans pass rush has been on fire lately. I expect Autry and Landry to continue that, hit Stroud, knock him down, get to him early, and have Azeez Al-Shire maybe make a play, maybe tip a ball, maybe catch an interception, force a fumble. The big 3 on defense is who I've got my eye on for the X factor today.
Yeah, I'm looking at the other side, and I'm looking at the worst game of Derrick Henry's NFL career the last time these two teams played each other. He had 9 rushing yards in the game. And so, yeah, I didn't think Will Levis was particularly sharp the last time the Titans played the Texans, but I do think he was very much hindered by the fact that there was absolutely no running game available for him whatsoever, kind of on an island. The Titans need to run the football with more success this week. Can they do it? I'm not sure. It's still a revolving door on this offensive line. We know how capable this Texans defensive front is. A Texans defensive front that, oh, by the way, added a fierce run stopper in Mr. Tier Tart since the last time these two teams played. So I'm looking at the Titans offensive line, particularly getting Derrick Henry going on the ground. Do not let him get hit on an average of 2 yards in the backfield like he was the last time they played the Texans. Get him going, establish the run. He doesn't need to be phenomenal. He doesn't need to have 80, 90, 100 yards rushing. But if you can get Derrick Henry going for 50 or 60 yards, set up some play action, and at least be competent on the ground, I think Will Levis will have an opportunity to make more plays, and the Titans offense can actually function like a normal offense and not like a battering ram that's running their head into a wall over and over and over and over and over again fruitlessly. So Mike Vrabel, Tim Kelly, they both told the media earlier this week, hey, we have to do something different in the run game. I don't know what, but we got to do something different because we cannot do what we did last time. I'm curious to see what that something is.
I love that. And you remember the Colts games earlier this season, Sam, where Derrick Henry in the first meeting had nothing going, couldn't find any room. And the second time he played Indianapolis, it was him instead of Zach Moss, who was going crazy all day, set up the passing game because of how efficient he was on the ground. It's hard to stop Derrick Henry twice in a row, especially with Henry's history against the Texans. So I'm with you. I believe that he's going to be a huge factor in today. I think it's hard to stop Henry twice in a row. We'll see if the Texans can do it.
Yep. Before we move on to our bingo card for the afternoon, I want to remind everybody to go ahead and give a thumbs up on the show. Go like the show. Not enough people have liked the show so far. It helps us out a ton as people try and trickle in here and find it to join the conversation. So drop a thumbs up on the show. And Jack, I will put this up on the screen. It is our Mint Gaming Hall bingo card for today's Titans and Texans game. Interesting that Texans logo looks a little bit like a Bills logo to me. It looks like a buffalo, blue and red buffalo. Here is the bingo card. We're asking you guys the question, what is coming off the Titans bingo board today versus the Texans? We had a couple fun things hit last week, but a potential few opportunities for a bingo. A Burks touchdown hits a bingo. What else hits a bingo? Is there a division win hits a bingo? So a win today, and
Double
the Titans
bingo
would also get a bingo. So what's coming off the Titans bingo board today? While you guys are doing all of that, I'm going to tell you about the Mint Gaming Hall. The Mint Gaming Hall, located just 35 minutes north of Nashville on I-65. You can stop by the center bar to watch the game on the big screens, and it's a great location for your favorite gaming, food, entertainment, and fun. Sign up for the Players Club, which is free, for a chance to win up to $1,000 in free play. And you can also grab breakfast or a quick lunch at the Corner Cafe. You can check out the all-new hotel at the Spring Hill Suites at the Mint Gaming Hall in Kentucky Downs with plenty of free parking. It's the Mint Gaming Hall. It's home of big jackpots and big fun. 35 minutes north of Nashville at the mintgaming.com. Jack Gentry, what's coming off of this guy, this bingo card today, as it starts to fill up a little bit?
Eric thinks it's a Burks touchdown. So does Jonathan. We got a Chig touchdown. Will says Burks. Billy says Chig. Jacob says none are hitting. Freddie, Burks touchdown. I mean, when is Traylon Burks going to catch a touchdown pass, Sam? It's been too long. He's overdue. He hasn't been, I guess he showed a sign the other day when he made that catch on the sideline, got his foot down. It was an impressive catch, but can he do it consistently? We want to see Traylon Burks get unlocked towards the end of the season to have some momentum going into the offseason and then in training camp in 2024. He's going to probably be a big part of this offense in 2024, so he's got to show some signs here. A touchdown would go a long way.
Ooh,
but Sam, I think
I have a thing too, because the chat's already on it, and this is on Austin Stanley here. Chig touchdown already happened. We have a Chig touchdown last week, so
that's right.
Austin Stanley, a little bit of a hot seat there. This is a Chig touchdown is checked off, which means we hit a bingo if Mason Kinsey gets in the end zone today.
Yeah, that's a long shot.
The day.
That's a long shot. That would be crazy if that's how we hit a bingo, right? I think home divisional win is your key here, though, Sam. You've got to show up big time, or not a home divisional win, but a divisional win because you go on the road. I think it's a big time situation for Levis to step up today. I know Vrabel's going to want it. More importantly, I know Amy Adams-Strunk's going to put a lot of pressure on this team because of her history, her and her family's history in Houston. So they're going to turn it up a little bit today. I expect Levis to have a big game. I think the divisional win is the way we hit bingo.
Yeah, so I'm actually with some of the people in the chat. I don't think we're going to get anything off the bingo board today, but if there is one that I'm leaning towards, it's D-Hop putting up 150. I could see a world where DeAndre Hopkins goes for 150 on the Texans, and maybe the Titans lose the game still, but D-Hop has a little bit of a, ceremonious end to the 2023 season over the next 2 weeks. So wide receiver 150 game is something that I have my eyes on. We'll get to final score predictions here in a moment. I don't think the Titans are going to win this football game, but I do think we have the possibility of seeing a good connection between Levis and Hopkins today. So that's what I got there.
Chris Moore was active the last time they played the Texans as well. He had 4 catches for 39 yards, and he's capable of a big play. He's a touchdown threat today as well, in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, sure. Yeah. Chris Moore. It's interesting, though. Like the Titans, as good as Chris Moore has been, as good as even like Traylon Burks has been at times at just creating explosive plays. So you're like, wait, when are these guys going to get in the end zone? When they get in the red zone, it seems to be the DeAndre Hopkins show. Like he's the one guy who's capable of separating in the end zone and finding a connection with Levis. It's either Derrick Henry run or a DeAndre Hopkins catch. Seem to be the only 2 results we get as far as touchdowns are concerned this year.
And Batman needs the Robin, Sam. Who's going to be D-Hop's Robin? Somebody's got to step up.
T. Higgins. So I don't know. Somebody who's not on the roster right now, probably Tyler Boyd. I don't know. Let's get to final score predictions. It's powered by BetMGM. Use the code ATOZ200 to turn a $10 money line wager into $200 in bonus bets instantly. BetMGM is an official partner of the Tennessee Titans. So if you're betting on the game this afternoon, Do it with BetMGM. Visit BetMGM.com for terms and conditions. 21 or older, Tennessee only, new customer offer. All promotions are subject to qualification and eligibility requirements. First online real money wager only. Rewards issues and non-withdrawable bonus bets. Bonus bets expire 7 days from issuance. For problem gambling support, call the Tennessee Red Line at 800-889-9789. And Jack, it's very simple. Final score of this game, who you got and who's going to win it? Chat's already coming in with a couple of them here, but who do you think takes this one home?
It's going to be hard for the Titans to win this football game. It just is. I do think that they're going to come in motivated with an edge. I do think it's going to be high scoring like some people are expecting, and it's a total of 44. It's gone up throughout the week as Stroud and Levis have been announced as the starting quarterback. So I expect it to be I think it's going to be a 28-24 ball game. I do think the Texans are going to come out on top, but I think Levis shows well, and Titans fans get what they want. Well, most Titans fans. I know there are still some of us who want to win football games, but I think most of the fans who are looking for a draft pick and, a strong day from Levis as well, get what they want. I think that Levis hits 300 yards passing, and the Titans lose a nail-biter that comes down to the final possession.
I'll take a one-score game as well, but I will take the Texans to cover. I will go with 27-20, the final score, with the Houston Texans prevailing. Maybe get a couple, maybe one Will Levis touchdown pass, maybe a Derrick Henry run in there. He looks pretty good. Maybe does flirt with 300 yards and has some success. But with how banged up this defense is and the number of new faces that you've got, I really have a hard time seeing the Titans slowing down a CJ Stroud-led Texans team. We'll see how CJ Stroud looks, though. I mean, he is coming back for the first time. So, right, he didn't play last week, did he?
No. Turnover battle going to be huge. Get to him. Strip
it
set.
Will be huge. Can you speed up? And that's why I think your X factor is pretty good, because if you can speed up CJ Stroud and create a turnover, now the Titans might have a shot. But I'll remind you, last time they played the Texans, they had a pick six and still lost the football game. Orlando comes with 35-10 Titans, 19-13 Titans, 31-24 Titans, 44-12 is Lou Man's final score going with the Texans. Texans 24-23, 35-33 Texans. Some optimistic Titans fans taking 27-24, 28-23. Yuri's taking Houston. Jacob's taking Houston. Howling Wolf is taking Houston. 35-16 Texans. 24-17 Texans. We will see. It'll certainly be an uphill battle, but can Will Levis and DeAndre Hopkins deliver? We'll find out here in a few moments. Jack, you and I will be back for the halftime show. So once this game hits halftime, make sure you join us back here on A to Z Sports to break down the first half of action and the post game. Thank you to all of our partners again. Until then, we'll see you guys later. Tighten up. Let's go.